Hello everybody and welcome to another Seb the Dev GameMaker 2 video, and today we're going to be doing a tutorial on how to make an input box in GameMakerStudio. So what we'll be creating today will just be something like this. So we've got this little text box here, we can type in, we can delete, and yes, this is just a basic tutorial, so let's just get into it. So of course the first thing we're going to need to do is create our sprite. So we're just going to call this SPR text box, if I can type this. We'll just edit this image, make it, resize it to, we do not want to keep that aspect ratio, we'll go 256 by 32 and we'll scale that down. So now what we're just going to do is we will draw a nice little box there. So this tutorial will probably be for not complete beginners, because we will be using some GML code in here. We will be using no drag and drop, but it wouldn't be too difficult to get going on it. So now we've created that sprite, we should change the origin to middle center, and we have finished creating the sprite. So if that was too quickly, then just let me know in the comments, and for the next future videos I will slow down my pace, but you guys can just go back and look over what I've done. So our next order of business here is to create the object. So here we'll just be creating object text box, and this is where we're going to be doing all of our code. We only need one object to do this tutorial. Let's just assign the sprite to our object. So yeah, now we will create a create event. Let's just name this initialize variables. And yeah, so what we've just got to do here is define a couple of variables that we will use. So the first one will be delete timer, and we'll set that to 0 for now. So delete timer will pretty much just be after you press the delete, so it avoids you deleting like 5 characters when you're only pressing 1, as this does run every step, which is every frame. So now we've done that, we must create a variable for the text. This is the variable our text will be stored in, and that is it. So again, these two variables, this one is just to prevent you from deleting too many characters at once, and this just stores our text. So next up, we'll create a step event. We will call this handle keys pressed, or just input. And so now we've got to check if any keys are pressed. So we'll do an simple if keyboard checks. This is just checks if the key is pressed. It doesn't check if it's been released, it just sees if it's down, and it will repeat as many times as it's down. So say if you hold it down for a second and you have a room frames per second of 30, then this will happen 30 times a second. So we'll just check VK any key. So this is just the code for checking any key on the keyboard to see if any key was pressed, whether it's H, delete, insert, anything. And we'll just make sure that the length of our string, so text, is less than a certain amount. Let's just set that to 20 for now. So that will just make sure that we have not hit the max of 20. So we have no syntax errors. That always confuses me, this little box, it's pretty slow. So now what we're just going to do is we're just going to take the variable, make it equal that variable again, but then we'll go plus string and then keyboard string. So this variable pretty much just checks the last string that was pressed by the keyboard. So now we've done that, we just want to reset keyboard string so we don't keep adding multiples of each other. So say you type in H one time and then I the next time, it will say HHI. We do not want that to happen, so we'll set the keyboard string to equal 0. So now we finish this if statement. So the next one we need to do is we need to check if backspace is clicked. So let's go if keyboard check VK backspace. So this is the code to check if backspace is C, and then we go and the exclamation mark is this is not happening. So we'll make sure that the keyboard is not being pressed. So it's just quickly pressed and released. So we're just going to make sure this pretty much just sees if the key is being held down. And now we also need just to check if our delete timer does equal 2, which I do believe I did say the wrong thing here. So the delete timer does need to equal 2 to start off with. So we'll open brackets, and so now what we're just going to do is set the text to equal string delete, and then we write the name of our text variable. We find what the length is of our text variable, and then we just remove 1 from that. So that's pretty straightforward. Next we change the delete timer to equal 0, so it won't just instantly do another one, delete another one, and then we just set the keyboard string back to empty. So next what we're going to do is we're going to check if the keyboard if backspace was just pressed once without being held down. So let's go, oops. So now we're just going to check if it's VK backspace is checked. So once we've done that, we can just set the text to pretty much the same thing as before. We'll set that text string length text 1. So that's just the exact same thing as what we did before. It's just removing 1 letter from the string length. So now it's going to change this, set this again back to empty, and we'll select the delete timer to -4 this time, just so it has a bit more of a cooldown. So now for the last piece of code in this script, we're going to handle the update so the timer can change and we can delete more, because if we didn't do that then we would just be able to delete once but never again. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go if delete does not equal 2, so this is just checking if the variable is not 2, then we will just add 1 to the delete timer. So it's with the ++ that simply just adds 1. Right, so now we've finished our step variable. We're just going to have to do the draw now, and then we are finished. So the draw variable, this is what draws it onto the screen. You need this to draw text, anything, a sprite onto the screen, if you haven't set. So let's just set the description to draw the text. And a very important line of code we have to do at the beginning is draw self. So what this does is it just draws the sprite that has been assigned to. If we do not do that, then it will just draw this text and not the outline, and we need the outline. So now it's going to set the color of the text to white, so we'll just go with the simple draw set color and then see white. You can do the same for many other colors, or there's a whole list of them that you can do. So here's just all the colors. You can just go on here and find a color that you would like to draw the text on. So next up, now what we've got to do is we've got to set the alignment. So now it's going to set the horizontal alignment. So we want this to be in the center of the sprite. So let's go font align center. That will just simply put it in the center. Now it's going to do pretty much the same thing, just for the vertical align, and we want to put this in the middle. So font align middle. And now the last line of code, we just need to go draw text, just X, Y, and then text. So that's just drawing it to the X and Y coordinates of the object and drawing the words text into it. Alright, so now we've finished the code. All we have to do now is just add this to the room. So let's just close this and we can open up the room. So now what we're just going to do, this is very new, as you guys probably saw in the video yesterday, I was very confused as to how to add a instance to the into the game, but now I've just figured out you just need to drag it in and then you're done. So we should be done. We'll just test it now just to make sure it's all working, and if all goes to plan, we have just made a working input box. Alright, let's see. And it looks like we're working. We can delete. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe if you enjoyed, like if you liked it, and I will see you guys in the next video, which will probably be quite soon, hopefully another tutorial. Bye!